What's going on, Yu-Gi-Oh fans? PlotArmorCards in the house, and there are a lot of cards that are just going down in price like crazy right now, whether they have been power crept or they have just not seen as much use as before, or it's just the result of the market going haywire from yesterday. This is a crazy one, I'm going to tell you that, but let's go ahead and get into this. And of course, if you like what you see, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as it does go a long way to helping my channel reach more people. So let's go ahead and look at our first one. So first of all, we got ourselves Therion King Regulus out of Dimension Force. Now this definitely is something that has been power crept out of the market. You don't see too many people running this anymore, especially if you go to locals and stuff. Not really happening too much. At one point, this thing was pretty high up there. It's been, where is it? Where's the 1 year thing? There we go. So this thing was insane. I remember this was at 90 bucks, and I was telling everyone sell, 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 sell. Actually, I don't remember if I make a video telling people to sell, or I was just telling the people around me that pulled it to sell, sell, sell. So I'll have to double check that one, but I definitely was saying sell. And then slowly we get to a point where it's about 25 bucks. The English versions, at least. This is lightly played. Near mint is about 26, and I would definitely say that it's been holding up at this price just because there hasn't been a reprint yet. This is the only printing, and so if this thing gets a reprint, and don't worry, it eventually will, you can expect this stuff to crash. So I would definitely say this is one to keep an eye out on. If you are interested in picking this up now, it might be worth picking up just to satisfy, you know, your itch for Therions, because this is like, if you're like me, you never actually got to play this card. But if you're also like me, you kind of want to wait for it to go a little bit more down before you pick it up. So personally, I would wait for a reprint. Next, we have the Rite of Armorseer package. Well, the Rite of Armorseer itself, I would say, is still a little bit up there in price. It's definitely rebounded since the last ban list, not this coming one, but the one before it, where this package was not hit at all, and therefore it had shot up in price. Then it just starts to creeping down a little bit. So this is something I would keep an eye on, because I feel like it will get lower and lower. However, there is only one printing, and okay, never mind. I was gonna say there's a damaged one for 15 bucks, but it's from someone with 0% sales. That's up to you if you wish to trust someone like that. I personally would not. Next, looking at Water Enchantress of the Temple, though, this is something that's interesting. So if you look at all versions of this, so this is one card that's had a printing, and this thing is like $8 right now. So if you look at what it used to be at one point, this thing has shot down insanely, and this is why I usually wait for cards like this to get at least one reprint, because the difference in price with just one reprint can be insane. And so the cheapest you can get this right now is about $8.95, but I'm sure you guys all remember how expensive this thing was at one point. So definitely worth keeping an eye on as well, because this, I feel like, is definitely something I'm not seeing too much at locals anymore. It still pops up from time to time. Like, I have come across some of this stuff in tier elements from time to time. However, I definitely feel like it's not as much anymore. So maybe being creeped out as well, slowly but surely. Next, we have the P.U.N.K stuff. This is kind of crazy because the P.U.N.K stuff is something I've been keeping an eye on personally. This is definitely something I'm going to be looking to pick up probably in a little bit. So this was at one point, like you could see this in the 6-month span, was $35 at a solid $35 for a while. And then it just all of a sudden took a massive hit. And right now, you can get it for as low as $6. I believe the main culprit for this was a combination of their that one Synchro Dragon getting kind of the ban list, as well as just slowly just kind of getting crept out. This is definitely something I'm going to pick up just for fun. Also, you never know what ends up happening in the future. So picking something like this up cheap, knowing its potential, probably will be worth it in the future. So this is, at least personally, is going to be something that I'm going to be picking up. I might wait for this to get to around $5, which is, honestly, I'm just being cheap about it because you can get it for $6 right now. Dimensional Fissure. This thing went haywire after yesterday's ban list, and we talked about it yesterday as well. I believe it was this version. It was one of these two that I had. But anyway, I sold it for 13 bucks, and I told you guys that it probably was best to do so, because now I can pick up pretty much a playset for the same price, and I'm chilling. So I got a playset of these for free. If you're in my shoes and you don't really care about like the rarities or that type of stuff, probably would have been best to do that. But this is definitely something that we're going to be keeping an eye on, because this is going to be a really good floodgate in terms of shutting down tier element. Do you guys remember how expensive Sprite Blue was? This thing was sitting at a cool 80 bucks for quite some time, and then it shot down. It was around 60. I was hovering around that price for a little bit, I would say. But now thanks to, I would say, if I'm trying to remember this correctly, I believe Power of the Elements was announced as a reprint, as the entire set. If I'm mistaken about that, I apologize. But this has been going down in price consistently. Even before that, this thing was definitely taking a dip. And this is definitely something I want to keep my eye on because, well, I'm not paying $30 for a single card. I refuse to pay $30 for Sprite Blue. This is definitely, I would say, has been power crept a little bit. Like, if Tier Elements is Tier 0, I would definitely say Sprite is Tier 1. But the way it used to work was Tier Elements and Sprite were kind of tied. After the Shizu stuff, Tier Elements definitely, I would say, took that leap. And so Sprite, I would say, is left a little bit behind. So that could be a reason as to why it's been going down consistently. But I am going to personally wait for that reprint because I have every card of this for this deck except for this card. So I'm going to wait for at least the price to be cut in half before I even decide to pick it up because I'm cheap. Lastly, we have the Bystial Lubellion. Now, this is definitely not a card I expected to start going down a little bit like this. However, it is definitely going down to the downside. The last near mint sold $35. What? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. The cheapest one right here is 47, so either somebody got lucky or they bought from someone that was 0%. So we'll see how that goes. However, I think I still have mine listed. It's at like 70 something bucks. There's no way you're going to be able to get to that because there's so many different listings that are just in the way. That is insane. I did not expect this to happen. Although reflecting on it, a lot of times when I see decks, at first they all had Bystial Lubellion, but now I would definitely say that it's not in as many ones. I would say Magnemite is always there, and then Druid Swarm is always there now. I've seen it 2 and 2, but then I don't see Lubellion as much anymore, which is interesting. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh fans, you guys can let me know what you guys thought about today's Market Watch in the comments down below. Is there any other cards you wish for me to cover? Of course, I'd love to hear about it. This is PlotArmorCards signing out for the day. If you like what you see, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.